Okay, so now that we've made our foldable, let's look at some examples here. So these 8 examples, we're going to factor. And one of the hardest things is, where do we begin? So always your number one rule is to start with a GCF. And to kind of help guide us on where to begin, we have a flow chart. So look at this flow chart. And in this flow chart, always the first bubble says first look for a GCF. Once you do that, and once you factor out that GCF, then you're going to decide, okay, do I have 2 terms, 3 terms, or funky terms? So 2 terms will fall under this bubble of most likely difference of squares. 3 terms, again, after you factor out the GCF, if you can factor it further, will fall under the category of the trinomial, the quadratic trinomials. And then you'll have to decide, okay, do I have a leading coefficient, or do I not have a leading coefficient? And then funky terms typically are the ones where you've got double variables like ab squared minus ab. So let's look at a few examples. Okay, so I have here, sorry, let me go back. I have here some that we need to place. So let's start with this 14x minus 7. So do we have a GCF? And the answer is yes, we do. So because we have a GCF, we're going to start by putting that one here in this first bubble. And we're going to look for all of those that has GCFs that's going to go into this category. Okay, so this one, what do all 3 of these terms have in common? Sorry, on this one, I forgot to tell you, the GCF on this one, what do these 2 terms have in common? And that's a 7. This one, what do all 3 of these terms have in common? Well, they have a GCF of an x squared. What about this one? And this one does not have a GCF, but can I factor it? If it doesn't have a GCF, am I still able to factor it? Well, notice now that we have 3 terms. Also notice that it falls in this ax squared plus bx plus c category. So this example, we're going to put here. Okay, what about this one? Do we have a GCF? The answer is no. But also look, so we have 3 terms, and it falls in that ax squared plus bx plus c category. So this one also needs to go right here. Okay, this one looks like I have a GCF. All 3 of these have a GCF of a 2. So I'm going to factor out a 2. This one, I'm looking at it, doesn't look like I have a GCF, but notice how I have 2 terms. Also, notice how there is subtraction between the 2 terms. And also notice how, each of those terms are perfect squares. So chances are this one's going to be, sorry, got left behind there. Chances are this one's going to be a difference of squares. All right. So that one's going to go there. Okay, now this one has 2 terms, and it's got subtraction between them, but it doesn't look like each of these are perfect squares. So how am I going to factor it? Oh, let's go back up to the top. It appears that we've got a GCF. What does both 18x squared minus 30x have in common? Well, definitely 6 goes into both of those, but not only that, but it's going to be a 6x. So we're going to put you up here. And then now this last one. So looks like we have a GCF. All 3 of those terms have a 2 in common. And so we're going to put you up here for now. So now we've kind of got them in a category. So let's see if we can factor them further. So let's take a look at the next set of slides.